I will be reading through the full article here, but I do need to let you know that this is very harrowing. It's extremely violent and it is upsetting. The body of a missing 2-year-old boy was found inside of an alligator's mouth after his mother was found stabbed to death in her apartment. Taylen Mosley of St. Petersburg, Florida, was reported missing on Thursday after his mother, Passion Jeffrey, 20 years of age, was found dead in her Lincoln Shores apartment. She was found dead from stab wounds. On Friday evening, Taylen, the 2-year-old boy, was found dead inside of an alligator's mouth. He was found around 10 miles from his mother's home. Officers confirmed that it was the little boy after they killed the animal, the alligator. A medical examiner is currently determining his cause of death. So I'm just going to speculate there a little bit. He was killed, he was murdered, and then his body was dumped. He was found in Del Holmes Park. I'm not familiar with Del Holmes Park, but I presume there are alligators there. And one of the alligators came across the body of a 2-year-old boy. Taylen's father, Thomas Mosley, 21 years of age, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Police announced he was a person of interest after locating him in hopes of finding Taylen. Thomas had checked himself into a hospital and was said to be covered in cuts on his arms and hands. As of Friday, he remains in the hospital. He refuses to speak with investigators. So the father, Thomas Mosley, 21 years of age, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. He was found covered in cuts on his arms and hands. His partner, the mother of Taylen, Passion Jeffrey, was found dead from stab wounds. So I don't think we need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what happened here. There was an altercation with a knife, which led to the stabbing murder of Taylen's mother, Passion Jeffrey. My guess would be that she defended herself, which is why Thomas Mosley is covered in cuts on his arms and hands. I guess it's possible those cuts were self-inflicted, but my take on it would be the mother attempted to defend herself. Sheer speculation, of course, but that's my take on it. Family members saw the mother and son on Wednesday at around 5:30 p.m. and they asked for a welfare check the following day after they were unable to contact her. Neighbors said that they heard a loud commotion near the apartment around 8:30 p.m. that night, but police were not called. Shortly after the commotion at the apartment, Thomas showed up at his mother's house covered in cuts. The next morning, Passion's mother called the apartment manager for a welfare check after her daughter missed their daily FaceTime call, and an employee of the apartment facility tragically found Passion dead. Investigators described the scene as very violent. So that's pretty much the full details there. 2 people dead, a 2-year-old boy, Taylen Mosley, disturbingly found in the mouth of an alligator. We don't know the cause of his death at this point. My assumption is that he died prior and was dumped, or rather he was killed prior and then dumped in the park in which he was found, Del Holmes Park, around 10 miles from his mother's home. My guess, my speculation would be that the prime suspect, Thomas Mosley, who has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, my speculation would be that he is guilty, that he was involved in an altercation with Taylen's mother, Passion, which involved a knife. I guess it's possible that perhaps Passion Jeffrey was the aggressor. Possible. Unlikely, but possible. But either way, Passion Jeffrey was stabbed to death. Thomas was found covered in cuts on his hands and arms. So my take on that would be that at some point Passion would have had a knife herself. I'm just trying to think about this, thinking out loud. So she was fighting back, which is why I suggest that perhaps she could have been the aggressor, for all we know. But I don't think that's likely. And Taylen was found dead, and his body was in the mouth of an alligator. So I would think that Thomas killed the mother and also killed Taylen and then dumped his body. So the investigation is very much at the start. Thomas Mosley, the prime suspect, is refusing to cooperate with the police at this point. Hopefully that changes. But even without his cooperation, I'm sure the investigators have the skills to be able to gain all of the evidence that they need. Apparently the crime scene, the apartment in which Passion Jeffrey was found dead, the crime scene showed a very violent event occurred. So my guess is that the forensics will be able to gather a lot of evidence. Thomas Mosley checked himself into hospital. He showed up at his mother's house covered in blood, covered in cuts. I would think this is an open and shut case, essentially. Full condolences to all the family and friends concerned. Family and friends of the mother, Passion Jeffrey, and the family and friends of 2-year-old Taylen Mosley. I have a Twitter channel. On my Twitter channel, a lot of of the focus is on missing persons. I make content in regards to missing persons in Australia, but I also retweet others' content in regards to missing people in America. And over the last couple of days, there's been a lot of posts in regards to Taylen Mosley, and unfortunately we're not going to see too many more of them given the discovery of his body, again disturbingly in the mouth of an alligator. I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Consider following me on Twitter, consider joining my memberships, that would be great. Feel free to give me any feedback, positive, negative, either or. Don't watch too many of my videos, please. Subscribe for sure, watch a few for sure, but don't allow yourself to feel too down from these subjects, please. These are very, very dark subjects, and I think it's important to cover them. I think it's important to reflect, and I'm going to say, the sense of community that occurs within the comment section. You know, you get to read a comment from somebody else, express their thoughts on the subject. You get to express your thoughts on the subject. There's something rewarding and valuable within that, but it's also can bring us down. It definitely alters our mood, and for some it brings them down for too long. For me personally, it does bring me down, but I seem to have the disposition where I can shake it off. Although, having said that, it does have an accumulative effect. So anyway, I'm able to cope with it by and large. If I'm not, I'll take a break. But yeah, please, you take a break. Go and watch some kitten videos, some puppy videos. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean that genuinely. Do whatever it is that brings a little bit of light and joy into your life, a little bit of enjoyment, a little bit of laughter, a little bit of love, whatever it happens to be. Don't think on these subjects for too long, please. So dip in and dip out of my channel. Don't watch every video because you'll get too down from it. All right. But I would like to be able to make some content that is more enjoyable for this audience. So I don't know how to do that, but if I figure it out, that would be good.